Okay, so we wanted to go through some basic features of the gradebook. So first, I'm going to show Quick Eval, which is a section of Brightspace you can get to from multiple places. We're going to go over that a little bit more. In your course, you actually have a Quick Eval button, but because we're in a sandbox, it looks a little bit different. So I'm just going to go to Course Admin to get to Quick Eval. So this is a good overview of any assignments that already have submissions, assignments, discussions, or quizzes that already have submissions. So you can see, for example, this one has 2 submissions and 2 have been completed. Their submissions have been completed. And then 1 of the 2 has been evaluated. 1 of the 2 has been published here at the top. I can't really hover over it because it changes the menu options. So some of these have not been graded at all. You can see down here, this assignment 2, there's been 2 assignments submitted. So it says completed, but 0 evaluated and 0 published. So that's what that looks like. So first I'm going to show you one that I already graded. So to do that, I'll go to discussion 1 and I'm going to click evaluate all. And you can see this is the discussion. We have the rubric here. So I have already filled this out. So it gives me this message. This assessment has been published and all changes made will be immediately visible to learners. If I want to delete what I've done, I can retract this grade. So you can use the rubric to go ahead and calculate the score for you. So if I change my mind on this one and I want it to be 20 points instead of 17 or exemplary instead of partially evident, I can just change that. And that will update automatically. And I can change any of these categories. That will update the overall score automatically. So this was 3.9, 3.8 something, now it's 3.9. So that is how you use the rubric to grade. I also have the option to put feedback here. And since I've already graded this one, I'm going to click update, and that's going to automatically update in the gradebook. So I did click evaluate all, which shows me all of the submissions. So in order to get to the next one, it says user 1 of 2. It would be however many submissions you have for that assignment. So if you have a class of 10 and 8 have submitted, you'd have 8 up here, not 10. It's just the submissions, not the total students. So I'm going to go to the next one. And I see Ashley has submitted 2 discussions here. And I'm going to click on the discussion rubric first. You have to scroll up. And then I'm going to say, you know what, that's pretty good. Critical and innovative thinking. And I'm going to give her great scores because I just think she did it. I just think she did a great job. And then, so she gets 4 out of 4. That's what that calculates to. So it's nice when you're using the discussion rubric or any rubric because it's adding to 100 points and you can calculate that in your head more than you could calculate fractions for out of 4 points. Here's where you can go ahead and add feedback as well. So I've published this score, so it's kind of, done. It's gone to the gradebook. After you've clicked publish, it gives you this update button in case you change your mind and want to change anything else. You can just click update and it'll update for you. So that's the basics of how Quick Eval works. Like I said, you can get here from multiple different areas. This is something that's in your course, there'll be a button for it, but we don't have that button here. So I think I will go ahead and turn it over to Tom.
What we're going to take a look at next is the gradebook itself rather than Quick Eval. First, I'll show what's in. So week 1, we have an assignment, a discussion, and a quiz. And it's kind of nice to note that next to an assignment, there's a little icon with a paper going into a box. Discussions have a discussion bubble icon. Quizzes have a question mark icon. These show up in the gradebook later. So in the gradebook, when we go to grades, there are 3 ways you can assess students or enter grades from within the gradebook. So in week 1, this welcome assignment here, this is what an assignment looks like in the gradebook before a student has submitted anything. You just see the empty cell with the number of points possible. Once a student submits something, an icon will show up. So once a student submits an assignment, this little paper icon shows up. Once a student has discussion activity, you see the little bubble icons. Once the student takes a quiz, you get the question mark. A red dot indicates that there is activity or a submission that you have not yet looked at. So for this discussion, the icon stays there after you grade the student. But after you grade, if a student interacts again with the discussion board, a red dot, as seen like over here, would reappear. I mentioned there are 3 ways to grade from this view. Method number 1 is you can just click on the icon. So find the student you want to assess, find the activity you want to assess, click the icon, and that brings you into the assessment view that Renee had opened earlier. When I clicked the icon, this opened in a new tab. So I can actually, once I've updated the grade, maybe I'll change Emily's grade to be 10. I'll click update. Now I can just close this tab. And I'll go back to the tab I had open before. One good thing though to do is refresh this page. I changed Emily's score and to a 10, you see it still says 9.7. So I'm going to refresh the grade book, and there we see her grades updated to what I just entered. So that's method number 1. Just click right on the icon and it takes you right into the student's work. You'll see these colors. Once we've graded a student, the cell goes from being white to being colored, and the colors differ. Brightspace has a scheme for like the colors differ from good to bad, but we don't yet have the power to change what the scale is. So the colors are a little bit arbitrary, but they're kind of useful because you can easily scroll down to find things that have not been graded by looking for the white cells. Method number 2 of grading from the gradebook, you can try to enter scores for all students for one grade item. So assignment 1, you can click the downward arrow from the drop-down menu. You can choose enter grades. Scrolling down, you'll see all the students who are enrolled. You can enter grades manually. You can use this pencil icon to enter feedback. And this icon will bring you into the assessment view. So that's method number 2. To kind of recap, in the gradebook, downward arrow, enter grades, and that brings you into the ability to enter grades manually, write feedback, and see their work. The last thing we're able to do is up here, this button allows you to switch to something called spreadsheet view. And this is, I'll do that right now. This gives you the ability to manually enter values in any cell for any student you want to. But this view will not show you their work. So you kind of have to like already know what grade you want to enter if you're going to use this view. This view is also good for SPHP courses, have columns called start date and end date. Going into spreadsheet view is the easiest way for you to enter values in start date and end date. So you can save once you write something in here, click save, and you can switch back to standard view at any time, which was where we were before. So those are kind of the basics of what you can do from the gradebook view. That is kind of all we had. We really did keep it like a pretty general overview.
Mhm.
Sweet. Okay, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.